Let's try that again. Hello, the internet. I know I'm appearing. I've checked that. I've done that already. My mic is working. Welcome to, once again, Dom has broken the bot. I was trying to set some stuff up before we started the stream and it's all gone horribly wrong. Anyway, this is part 8 of a 4-part series on why you shouldn't actually number how many parts your series is going to have. And by the looks of things, I'm going to be around next month as well, as we plug ahead with this. We're building a bot in Go. I am a professional Go developer, although the past 7 weeks may put question to that. And what we're doing is we're building something that is not just a sort of a thrown together, hacked up bot, which I could have done in a few hours, but I'm building something that's sort of stable in theory. And reliable, again, in theory, that I can then update and provide the functions that we need. So the past 7 streams, we've basically created the core bot service, and that was working. And last week, we added an HTTP endpoint so that we could have messages thrown at the bot. And my plan today was to get that fully working, so that primarily so that Alex could retire the old bot, which, if you're on the Discord, made the wrong announcement earlier, which is why we want to retire it, and he can start using this one to start throwing updates out. So I decided it might be useful to set up the load balancer for that HTTP endpoint before the stream started, and that's where it all started going horribly wrong. So we're gonna swap out of let's go here. Let's minimize OBS. So there's a few things going on here. We've got another bot that's listening to that command, so you can ignore Avray or whatever it is. Astrobot is currently not up. Will be up shortly, unless the ECS thing has stopped trying to start it up. I've set some new views. But if you notice, here we were up for 1 minute 32 seconds, and then here, which is decidedly more than 4 seconds later, 3 seconds later, we were again up for 1 minute and 35 seconds. So the bot is bouncing, and the reason why the bot is bouncing is because ECS keeps shutting it down. And I think the reason why ECS keeps shutting it down is because it's not responding to the health check. The health check has been added by the load balancer, and so that's all sort of going horribly wrong. So given we're still at a desired count of 1 and a pending count of 0, I'm going to guess that this hasn't started up yet. So the bot is active. And the last task stopped, and it stopped because failed health checks. Right, so the health check should be hitting the ping endpoint that we added to the bot. I don't know if you remember at the end of last stream, we got all the HTTP stuff and I deployed it, and all appeared to be working insofar as the bot was up and responded to commands. We couldn't test the HTTP endpoint because there were some extra bits I needed to wire in. I've wired in those bits today, so the port that we're using should be set and should be set correctly. I'm not going to say is set because this isn't working yet. I've added a load balancer so I can now hit the bot. However, I think this is further than the load balancer. I've created an SSL certificate as well so that Alex can do this all via HTTPS when he hits that. And it's not starting. Oh, the other thing I did is I realized it wasn't working to start off with, because the way I was serializing the S3 storage backing store was serializing all the config for S3 as well. So I've updated that and deleted those entries. However, the count is still correct, so don't worry, I haven't lost any data. So let's go debug this situation. I've got here, I'm running this locally. Now, we've got a problem at the moment where this won't run if it's not connected to Discord. So what I've done is this wonderful thing of just comment out everything. And the first thing I want to do is check just, is this actually responding? Let me just, sorry, I've moved this down to a smaller screen, so let's just unsplit. That's better. So is this responding to the ping endpoint? To which I believe it is. So this is localhost on port 1337, listing HTTP, so we can just go localhost 1337, that's going to give me a 404, which is what I expect, and then ping is going to come back with a pong. Let's just, do I have curl installed? Yes. Localhost 1337 ping. Oh, what's the thing to give me the full response? Is it -v? That's better. So here we are. We are getting a 200 OK back. One of my little Easter eggs. Go read the Terry Pratchett books if you don't understand, or just Google for Xclax overhead. And this is all looking as I expect. So we're getting a 200 OK and we're getting a pong back. So that should be working for the health check. Right. So the next thing is to work out whether this is actually being called. Let's just reset the bot. We're currently in the... No, don't want to rebase. What am I doing? Rollback, that's the one I want. Just that one. Okay, so we are currently in the slight... Oh, God, don't want that. Go away. Die. Thank you. We are currently in the bug for fixing the small issue with the F3 thing. So let's just go back into... I have an issue for getting the load balancer up and running, which I thought I'd fixed, but clearly not. And what I want to do is I want to just very, very simply ponging. We've been ponging, we're ponging. So this is just printf debugging, because this is all running up in the cloud and I can't get at the thing to debug it properly. So let's chuck that in, commit file, issue number 19, how many S is an issue? Just 2 of them. Debug. So the first thing we'll see is this even actually being called by anything? Because if it's not being called, then it's not the code, it's the setup. If it is being called, then it's something that I'm doing wrong. Possibly that response, although I'm pretty sure most of my ping endpoints do that. Anyway, we'll find out soon. Let's review that and get that pushed down. Now this is going to take a few minutes, so while that is happening, let's go have a look at some of the other stuff and see if we can't work out what I've done wrong as I talk everyone through what it is that I've done. So that's going to be building, and there's just those 2 changes. Cool. So I set up a load balancer, just an application load balancer, which was initially set up with a default target that I've removed, and now has a target set up by ECS, which is this. I'm spotting a problem. This does not look as I expected. This is HTTP and port 80. And I expect that to either be HTTPS, if it's the inbound, so port 443 or whatever it is, or for it to be 1337. So, let's delete this target group. Oh, okay. Let's go and edit the listeners. Edit you. What are you doing? I'm wrong one. There we go. So I'm going to get this and delete it. I hate this interface. That one. It is very confusing. Right, this is running on port 443. So that's what I expect, and that's the last action. So next off, I'm probably going to have to rebuild my what's the word I'm looking for? Cluster. Well, at least the services in the cluster, because I'm not sure that I can actually update the load balancer. And if I've messed that up, then that's going to be a problem. Now that is pointed to the container port of that, but unsure, and I can't edit that. Only certain service creation. So let's. This is a key thing to be aware of. I was about to go up here and go delete cluster. If you press delete cluster, you get this thing where you've got to type in delete me, and of course we never read this. I don't want to delete the cluster. Deleting the cluster is slightly more problematic than well, slightly more drastic than what I want to do. I want to delete the service, which is the button down here, which again comes up with this. So again, you've got to type in delete me, so it's one of those things where read the text. Anyway, that's gone. So we'll recreate that service, nice and easy. It's Fargate, it's GoBot, it's number 20, it's going in bots, it's called AskJoe. We want one task, all of that's fine. This permanent circuit breaker, I'm sure this is new. Sorry, deployment circuit breaker. I don't remember seeing it before, but it's quite a nice thing, because when the app fails to go up, it can just sit there bouncing. So this enabled rollback should take it back to the last known good state. Does require there to be a last known good state, which we don't have at the moment, but here we go. Anyway, on this VPC, we're using all of these subnets. I've already got a security group, so let's go select that. That one. Save that. Auto-assign public IP, yes. Load balancer, this one. Add that, add the load balancer on that port. Target group protocol is HTTP, yes. It's going to be en route, but validation order 1. Health check is ping. Dun, 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 dun. I think I've done all this correctly. It's definitely IP. Don't adjust because we're not doing a load balancing. Ding, 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 ding. Create service. Yeah. Back. Back to here. Delete this. Try again. Yeah, it's better. So let's view that service. And that should go off and be provisioning. So our Target group is now here. Still saying protocol port HTTP 80. Dun, 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 dun. No, gone too far up. Load balancers. Problem is I do this so infrequently. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm not going to put in the hostname routing at the moment because I want to just remove one particular bit of complexity. So if path is that, then it folds to this. But that should be mapping to port 1337, which is there. Target registration is in progress. So that is request timed out. So that is still not working. So we've still got an issue there. So this should have done a long time ago. Let's refresh that. Let's prove. Let's merge. Yes. So at least we'll get to see whether this ping is actually coming out. So if we go on to ECS, go have a look. Oops. Refresh that. No. Wait a minute. Or you're going to get taken down in a bit. This is running. It's listening for connections on 1337. So all of this is as I expect. If I go to HTTPS ashjoe, oops, ashjoe somewhere random.com, and I want a ping on the end of that. Ping. That's my default load balancer response. And that is probably because it doesn't think it has any targets. Let's just quickly do this. Let's cancel that. Again, hating that. Oh, I can't do that either. Right, cancel that. Edit this, add action. Oh, can't do that. Need to get rid of that. Add action forward to this. Group level stickiness is off. Yoink. Let's update that, and then let's get rid of this. So now, no matter what happens, we are forwarding to that that particular endpoint. Right, that's me now picking up that change, and we're not going anywhere. It's just hanging. Gateway timeout. So it doesn't think that we've got a good backend. You should be built now. Wait a minute. I'm just going to check what failed with that pipeline because... Oh, right. So this was what I was talking about with not wanting to run these things concurrently. This won't be able to run again because I've deleted that branch. But this paused, didn't tell me it was paused. So it looks like it's failed even though it wasn't actually failed. Anyway, doesn't matter. Where are we going? 1.17. 1517. Let's create that tag. Off we go. Comment from Sean saying my best code is in comments. The response being certainly the least buggy. Now, the least buggy code is no code. I'm pretty sure you can get things to break even with comments. Go have a look at the polyglot code, which runs in, I believe, 7 different languages with the original version and possibly even more now. We used to use a polyglot hack with TCL where if you / continue a new line, I can't remember which way around. Yeah, if you / continue a new line, TCL will join those 2 lines together. So we'll treat that as a single line. So we had TCL scripts that would bootstrap themselves. So you would comment stuff, / escape, and then put a bash script on the next line, and then evaluate the file again. So it would set up the environment, and then when the TCL interpreter ran, it would treat all of those as comments and run down to the sort of the first TCL line. So even your comments can have bugs. I'm not even sure if my code has bugs. I think it might be my config. We shall see. Right, this should be number 21. Do I have anything up with these? Yes, I do. There. That one. So this should shut down Gobot 20 and bring up Gobot 21. And then just fall flat on its face again. We're expecting that, but at least we will see whether or not we get this this logging output. Now, I had hoped to get an update to some of my libraries into this code base. Probably going to be for next week now. And one of them is to just have an option to log out as a piece of middleware in the HTTP handler I've got, just to log out when endpoints have been called. So ideally, this would be just toggleable functionality. It's not in the library quite yet. Sadly, Valheim got in the way, which is a new survival type game, which I am very massively addicted to. I don't know how you best describe it. So I've not got as much of that done as perhaps I would have hoped. It's also why in my ID we have this horrible red dash, because I am midway through writing that code and redoing some bits, and it's not compiling at the moment, which is nice. Right, how's this build going? Dum 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 dum. Pipelines. That went out 3 minutes ago. There we are. So let's get this up and running. Let's just take that because it's going to disappear. So that's pending. And then soon we'll be running. Hurrah! Right. So if we go have a look at my logs, bot is running, connected on there. Now I have told it. I can't remember whether I have in this particular setup, to back off for 30 seconds before it starts pinging, just to give it a small amount of time to start up. And assuming these timestamps are correct, the 30 seconds should now be up, and I would expect to see a ping in there, which I'm not. So let's get rid of some of these things. Let's go back to here, make you a bit bigger, and somewhere, just trying to remember where, is the nope. Maybe it's on this. There we go. That's what I want. So we have 0 healthy hosts and exactly 1 unhealthy host. We've had some requests go through it for it, so it is passing requests. Now, sadly, unless anyone in the logs wants to say otherwise, I don't believe I can see what the health checks are getting back. But what I can do is have a look at this. Right, that's going on HTTP. It's going to /ping. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's see whether that does anything fun. So unfortunately, we need to sort of wait for everything to get itself aligned, because this is going to be provisioning things. Then it goes registered with the load balancer. Then the load balancer does a whole lot of pings to it and determines whether it's healthy or not. And if it's not healthy, then it will go to Fargate and say it's not healthy. Please provision me with a new thing. We've not had this problem before because we haven't had that kind of health check. All that Fargate's been doing is the Docker image still running, or has it fallen flat on its face? The Docker image is running. It's just possibly falling flat on its face. Let's see whether that's now running, which is good, but we expect that. That's in its initial target registration, which is good. And you'll notice this is bouncing around between availability zones. I've set this up to run in all 3 availability zones in EU West. So this is running in Ireland. No, US 2 is running in the UK, London, I believe. And if there is an outage, then the load balancer will detect that outage and get it to spin up again and move it to a different availability zone. So we've already built in resilience. We are failing resiliently here. So that still failed. Wrong one. This one. Yuck. So if we go have a look at the logs on that, refresh that, there is no ping. Next thing to do, are we actually getting through to that port? Let's have a look at our task definition. So there's my task definition. There's number 21, which has gone up. And according to this, we have a host port and a container port of 1337 on both, which again is what I expect on TCP. So I am now utterly confused. Nothing new there then. What's the best way to deal with this? Guessing that's just going to get gateway timeout all the time because nothing's going through and getting registered. Let's just go see if there's anything we can do on create new provision. Don't need any of those. So we have to have the same port mapping. So it has to go to port 337 on the target. So I've not messed that up. Ah, I wonder. No, I've never done those. Not least because I'm not sure the curl actually is installed on that image. That's working, otherwise it wouldn't be set up. What about timeouts? Network settings. I wonder. Here's a thought. Here is a thought. I wonder if that VPC has the internet turned off. What do I want? I want VPC. So one of the comments that Alex made, I think last week, in the Discord, that he didn't like AWS, even though it might be slightly cheaper to run some things. He didn't like AWS because it was too complex. And I mean, I don't know where he's basing that claim. This isn't complex at all. Main route table, there we go. So VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, is the thing that you define that allows everything to run in its own sort of private little area. So there should be an internet gateway which is attached to the only VPC I've got, so that is correct. And the only other thing to check is my subnets and just make sure that they're getting IP addresses. IPv4 state. That's the root table, I think, actually, where the IPv4s are. Yep. That seems to be all vaguely correct. Yeah, auto assign IPv4 addresses. Because if that's not set, then it disappears from the internet effectively, which is not a good thing. So that is a red herring. What next? Can't really tell you. Here's an idea. Here is an idea. Let's go spin up something small. So all of these, no, actually, not even that. I think I've run out of 3 minutes a long time ago, so the ARM workloads are a lot cheaper. All of these FileGate instances are running in my availability zone, and should all be visible from within the. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on just a minute. Oh, access from the load balancer. Right. So just talking through that, because my plan was to spin up an instance and then they'd just run curl and see what was happening. And my thought process was going, because this is all running on private IP addresses and the public IP addresses are the load balancer, so I can't test all of that from from my side of the VPC, but if I was to spin up an instance, then it could connect because it has access. And then I suddenly thought, hang on a minute, does it have access? Have I even opened that port up in the security group that the bot is running in? So I think I may have just wasted 35 minutes with a dumb security group issue. Let's cancel this, don't need that anymore. Incidentally, if you do need a tiny box just for a small amount of messing around and you have run out of 3 minutes, the ARM workloads, the ARM CPUs are much cheaper. Especially the Amazon's own ones. You run into issues with more complex stuff, but if you're just wanting to ping and a curl and stuff, it's generally fine. Right, load balancers. That. Still looking decidedly unhealthy, but we might not have had enough time for it to do its thing. And off to ECS. Closed too many windows here. Dun dun dun. That one. That one. So that is running. Healthy. God, I feel like an idiot. Yes. IR doofus. So yes, AWS is not at all complex in any way, shape or form. It's hideous. If you don't understand how it all hangs together, the learning curve is brutal. I do like it because I've been using it for a long time. But for a beginner, I can definitely see the appeal of DigitalOcean. Here is your machine, boink, it's configured. Anyway, now we've done that. Yes, Chris is saying super simple. It's just. Now we've done that. I've completely forgotten what it was I was going to do today. This is why we've got issues in Bitbucket. Also, first of all, we need to actually close. Well, the issue will be closed. That's done. We're happy with that. Actually, no. Just going to reopen that very quickly. And no, this is the wrong one. Dunk. Just because it's not a particularly useful thing to have in the logs. What I would like is to actually see what's pinging and what's calling it and where, and then have the ability to filter the pings. So let's just revert that. So git commit file, fix number 19 again. Debug. Commit that. We don't need to go all the way for a build for this. We just need to get it up and out. Well, that was a bit of fun for the opening of the stream, wasn't it? I do so love it when things go wrong and you have no idea what's going wrong and everyone is metaphorically looking at you. Review, and that'll go through and build. Yeah, we have issues. Issues, right. Set a bot icon. We're not going to do that today, but you can actually get the thing to set an icon. I have a wonderful icon that I commissioned from Andy Carolan, or link in the chat, please, Alex. Allow chat and backends to be picked. So this is about making it testable, so I can start it up and say, hey, actually, I just want to use an in-memory store and command line input and output. If you recall all the way back on episode 1, that's what we started with, was just this command line input and output, and that's kind of disappeared because as things got more complex, keeping the two in step was a bit hard. We're not quite there for putting it back, so I'm not going to do that. Listen out for concurrent instances. Don't know how to do this yet, but I noticed last week when I started up, the bot responded twice, and what's happening is when Fargate is bringing up an instance of the bot, the old instance is still there as well, until it's happy that things are up and running, so both are responding. Allow the control character phrase to be configurable. Yeah, we'll do that later. Although, as you've noticed, we're getting collisions now. I think we are in a position to do add an HTTP endpoint to allow a message to be proxied. I'm going to leave myself open to abuse, just because of the way this is going to be done quickly. Rest assured, by the time you're watching this after the stream, it will not be open to abuse, or working at all, because I will have changed the key, and then Alex and I will discuss. So the way that this should work is that there should be a login endpoint that gives you a bearer token. So you log in with your login credentials and you will get a bearer token back. Then every subsequent call to the API should present that bearer token in the authorization header, and all is good. Eventually that bearer token will expire and you request a new one. Pretty basic. I'm not doing OAuth because I don't hate myself. What's going to happen in this particular thing is the bearer token is going to be hard-coded, because I've wasted 45 minutes messing around with a config issue. So that is all going to appear. I might be able to do it off screen, we'll see. But if it does appear, the token that's going in is not the token that will be there for any length of time. And then what's quite nice about this, Alex said about proxying something, and I looked at this and I went, oh my god, how am I going to do this? This is really quite blah. And then I looked at the documentation for Discord Go, and it tells me about all of these things and what types they are, which is great, and has wonderful comments like the embed.title is the title of the embed. Well done, thank you. How does this render? So I went and looked at the Discord docs, and they made not a huge much more sense. And then I came back to this, and now with all three, it kind of made a bit of sense. And then Alex posted the JavaScript documentation, which is literally a picture of how it renders, code for doing that particular bit of rendering. It's like, that's what I needed. So pro tip, go to the JavaScript documentation for the Discord object types. Strange, but yeah. I quite often go to DigitalOcean for AWS config because DigitalOcean documentation is far better. Anyway, all of this should map nicely to a specific type of message sent in the API. So where are we? This is issue number 14. Did we approve that? We did. Did we merge it? No, we didn't. I should have merged that, and I can just bin off that other branch. People now joking about abuse in the chat. I've completely forgotten the issue number. No, 14. Okay, so, like I said, normally we would expect there to be a whole sort of authentication type thing, and I have an authentication part of the HTTP library that I've got that allows you to check the bearer token and everything like that. We're not going to do that today, because time limits. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a very simple endpoint. We're going to copy the ping endpoint, we're going to shove it in here, and we're going to call this, let's use the word that proxy. Don't like proxy. Forward. Post. Chat. Message. Send. So first things first, we have this JSON type structure, and that is not going to map nicely because it's just not to the Discord Go API. I mean, it will, but not one-to-one. So what we need to do is just type, learn how to program. That's the struct, okay. And from here we can sort of just mirror this JSON thing. So we've got channel, which is a string, and I don't need to bother with the JSON tags with this thing because we're mapping into, not out of, so it'll handle the case. Message is a string. This is it. Embed is a struct, and that's going to have a URL, which is a string, and a title, which is a string, and a description, which is a string. In fact, everything is a string. It's a stringly typed API. So you'll note that this has been written by a Brit, because they've put a U in colour, because that's how it's spelt. And I will mirror that in my message, because if I don't, I've got to put a JSON tag in there, and as I already stated, that's how it's spelt. Video. Fun fact, as far as I'm aware, BBC Basic is the only programming language to spell colour correctly. Fields is a slice of struct, and that takes a name, which is a string, and a value, which is a string. And that's it. That's my type. So this is the send message handler. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is this. Let's just shove it in here for now. Token is a string. And we've already got token. Bearer. So it's only going to be able to come from the config file. Bearer. Yes, I can't spell revealed. Bearer. So that'll get changed and pulled out. This is just a temporary thing to let me configure it, and I will configure it via the config file, which I can do on a different screen where you can't see it, and all should be good. So not massively open to abuse. You have to work out my weird sense of humour and what I'm going to put in as the bearer. So that should all be sorted. Not going to bother reporting it or anything. Back to send. So we need to get the auth header. So if w dot r dot header dot get have I set it? Have I been? Do I have go HTTP in here? Must do. Let's get the import working. Thank you. Why are you being slow? What are you doing? So the great news is I have a brand new M1 Mac coming. next Tuesday. So this should get a lot faster. My fans are spinning somewhat and I'm not getting a... I was just seeing whether I got the... whether I got that coded somewhere as a constant. I'm pretty sure I have, but it's not coming up. So settings dot bearer. We can just turn around and go w dot right header http dot get rid of view. Actually, we can get rid of view as well. Bye bye. That doesn't need to be public either. Right, so http dot unauthorized. Return. Excellent. So one set of built-in security. Whoa. Actually, probably want to be doing this. So this is just, oops, wrong one, this one. A wrapper around everything and makes sure that all the headers and stuff are set. And here we can do nope. Can't be bothered. I will do that in a bit. Sorry, my machine is chugging away. I'm not getting the hints that I want on the library that I've got, so I'm just going to do that because I know it works. May not need that for the moment. Now we need to do something with that. So there is in the Discord thingy a way of writing fancier messages. So this is going to require some changes to the Discord listener because at the moment we have a message and a sender. So what I can do here I'm just thinking about whether or not I can abstract stuff out. I think given the time we've got, possibly not for now. My thing today is to basically get this working. So we've got a Discord session. The Discord sender with that particular session. Right. I need to be able to create one of these because I'm not responding to a message. So, is there a constructor for one of those? Discord, go. What does that return? That returns me. That pulls out the session. We should have the session elsewhere. And that's taking a message, and a message is, let's just pile into that. This is what we want. Cool. And you can see what I mean about the content of the message. Where does it get? Where does it get put? Right, so we can map everything into that, and then we've just got to work out how to send it. So we need to work out how we're going to get the session sent into this particular endpoint. One thing at a time. Let's create this message. So there must be a constructor function for this somewhere. No, I'm sure I saw one. After the docs. Doink. Oh. There's your Discord.js guide. If you want to be messing around with that. The examples sadly are not useful. Although this might be in terms of just nope, that's not doing much useful. Air horn. That creates the bot. Oh, we've got the handlers in there. So sadly, we already have the handler and the message create that's coming in. So I think we just need to create the message create ourselves. I can't see anywhere on the oops, back another one. I'll just jump onto that under the documentation. If we go to the Go reference doc and have a look at message emoji. So there's a type message. Type message embed, which we're going to be using. And then there's the send stuff somewhere on channel, I think. Nope. Anyway, I think it's on session. So I think we are going to have to create one of these things by hand, which is fine. So we'll just turn around here and we'll go fill in all fields. Fantastic. And we need very quickly to we are going to need the HTTP library. Go HTTP. Import, please. Thank you. Some form of right, okay. Doink. That'll be why. And that's going into one of our message, which is proxy message. We can bung that in there. Fantastic. So I know we've now got our message. Message body. What are you whinging about? That is an interface. That's the wrong thing. equal to nil, and then we can whinge about that. So conversation dot reply respond. Bad request, go away. You the W as well. So in fact we can do that here as well. And we do want that. Right, brain is slowly waking up. So this just handles the errors and tries to gracefully deal with the fact that things can go wrong when you're responding. We need to return out of that so we don't keep processing. And then we've got our message, and now we can message dot message. Guessing that's the content. And then we've got an embed, and we only have a single one. Now embed in this is just a message embed, so message embed, fields, that's a pointer. And we have I'm wondering whether this would. Ooh. There's a problem. Right, so we may have to deal with that. Because I was all of a sudden wondering if I could just directly unmarshal it into this, but I'm not entirely sure I can. Type we don't have, so I'm going to leave that out. Title we do. Description, I think we do. Timestamp we don't care about. Color, problem, we'll have to think about that. Footer we don't have. Image we do have. Yep. Image is a type of Discord go message embed image. Right. So we could technically get this to work with a custom JSON decoder. Image. Thumbnail we don't have. Video. Alex, quick question for you. I'm guessing image and video may not be set. So I may need to do some checks on those two to see whether they're set as to whether I actually do put them in. We can pull them out in a sec. We'll wait for him to respond. Otherwise, he's got to provide an image and a video for every single message that's sent. And that would be hilarious. Provider and author I don't think I have. No. Fields I do have. And I believe this is appointed to a Discord go. Fields. Embed fields. Message embed field. Nope. It's a struct of those. Sorry, a slice of those even. we just keep adding brackets until it stops complaining. Name value, we don't have the inline, so we can get rid of that. We're going to have to do this a different way as well. Yes, please. Image, video, and fields should be optional. Thanks. Right. Get rid of those as well. You are superfluous now. TTS, nope. Files, nope. In fact, all of those, nope. Right, so the next thing we need to do is if our message dot embed dot image is not equal to that, then m dot embed dot image equals that. Is that going to fit? That'll do. And if message dot embed dot video is not equal to that, oops, m dot embed video is one of these. Message embed video URL. Cool, and then for we don't care about the yes we do. No, we don't. I don't care about speed here. I was just trying to work out whether I should pre-initialize the. Actually, it doesn't matter if it's a zero size. It doesn't matter. We will care about the index. So message dot embed, no, m dot embed fields meek, and this is going to be a slice of a pointer to Discord go message embed field, and we want that to be the length of this. So that's learn how to click. So that's going to create us a it's getting a bit long. That's going to create us a lovely slicer that we can iterate through, so that we can then turn around and go m.embed fields I dot name. Actually, not even that. We can go equals one of these. Pointer to one of those, and we've got name, which is coming from f.name, and value, which is coming from f.value. Job done. So now we somehow need a session that we can send this on. So if we just bung in a dummy thing for now, this is a Discord go session, s dot channel message send. Nope, I'm sure there was a better thing than that. There was a message send something or other. Let's go see if we can find something that takes this type. There's message send, channel message, yeah. channel message send complex. I didn't see that. Ah, there it is. No, that's edit complex. That says channel message send. Oh, there it is. Just buried away. Channel ID would be our message dot channel and n. Pointer to n. And then we get that, and then if not equal to nil, need better error handling in here. For now, I'm going to claim it was my fault. But we should actually look at why it's failing to send. And for things like incorrect channel and all of that stuff, we should probably be a little bit more explicit. But for now, we're just going to say it's my fault, go away. It went boom. And let's give ourselves a little bit of a hint as to why it went boom. And then otherwise we want to return, oops, you're not going to see that, that's the wrong window. Over here, where's the spec? Here's the spec. Our response looks like that. Oh, you want the message ID back. Fine. No reply. With the writer, and we want a struct. No, we can't do that. Or can we? Yes, we can. ID, which is a string. That, and then we can initialize it like this and say status is okay. Lowercase okay, apparently. We're not shouting about our okay. And our ID is response.id. That was easy. Cool. Now all I've got to do is work out how to shove my session in there, which could be part of the config, I guess, or part of the settings. I could get set on there and passed in because all our functions are taking a settings type. Don't know, smells a little bit, but for now, let's shove it on there. You're getting this. That's a sender. Where's session gone? You will pass in the session in. How do I get a session? Do I need to create a session? I could see this falling into a complete heap when I deploy it. Session, type session. Oh, there's a new. New's always good. Did we get one of those in the bot? Let's go chase down. One of the problems with doing this every week for a couple of hours is I've forgotten what I've done in the previous weeks. Just because. There's Discord connect with the token. Boom, 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 boom. So that's giving us the session, which we're adding to con, doing con.open, and then we're throwing it away. Marvellous. Right, even bigger smell inbound. We will work our way around this later, but for now, var. Nope. Let's call it Discord. Capital D, because I need to be able to get to it. Discord. Session is a pointer to Discord. Go. Session. Ew. Ew. In fact, so much so that I'm going to make Alex edit that last couple of seconds out of the video, and we're just going to return it here. Pretend it never happened. You didn't see this, I wasn't here. So you're going to be a nil, you're going to be a nil, and you are going to be a con. Brilliant. You are going to fail nowhere. Nowhere. Fantastic. But you, where are you? You are definitely going to fail. Yes. No. So there's the session. There's the actions. Just trying to think about my routes and where they're set up. They're set up there with the router, where we pass in the settings. Fantastic. So I'm just going to shove that on the settings type. Oh, I've missed 2 messages from Rani Gupta. Message retracted. I shall have to rewatch and find out what they were. Whether I answered them or whether they were spam. Where are we? We're going to config. That's where we're going. And we're going here, and we're just going to shove in this little section of goodness, and by goodness I mean horribleness. No, not that at all. Been playing with that all day. Part of my problem today is that I have spent all day updating a library and updating it to handle errors with the new way of wrapping errors, but the standard library of Go does not wrap all of its errors, so I've been going through and finding out which ones are not wrapped and having to create my own errors to wrap them and then running tests, and it's just been incredibly dull. And I'm bored of doing that. And there's more to go. But needs must and all that. Right, so the session's going to come in through the settings, which means that can now be that. We know you're not being used, we'll sort that in a second. So you now need to set that. Set that. So this is all going to fall over in a crumpled heap if it goes wrong and fails to connect to Discord, because the... Oh no, we're doing a fatal error there anyway, it doesn't matter. So we should always have a session. Great stuff. So that should send. So we should be able to go into our routes. And we should, in our... I'm just pausing here because I'm not sure I can put it into the security. I think the handler for that actually checks for a JWT bearer token and does all the needful to it. And of course we won't have one of those. So I'm going to put it here in the insecure for now. We've got our own quote unquote, and I'm doing the air quotes as well. I think my camera's off. Yes, it is. I'm doing the air quotes when we have our own security. So I'll put it down here in the insecure endpoints for now, and that'll get shifted up at some point. Right, I think that's all. I think that's everything. I think we're ready to deploy this and watch it fall over in a crumpled heap and not work. First of all, Alex, do you know what the channel is in terms of the channel number? For the bot test channel, it's probably where we want to throw it, because we can do some testing with that. I think no, I can set it as I could possibly set it as an environment variable. I'm just thinking about how to test this without leaking the API key, for want of a better word. Anyway, so I need to move that window up there. I know what I can do. We can launch pour and do it with that. But for now, let's just check that this makes. Well, that just rolls off the tongue. 8065. Could you post that in the bot test Discord channel, please, so I can cut and paste it? And that way, I don't have to try and remember or transpose a however many digits that is number. My dyslexia is not going to allow that to happen. So compiles, that's always a good start. Right, so we need to add this. It's all in there. So first of all, let's. No, it's already added. I want to commit that. You'd think I'd learn these keyboard shortcuts by now. Actually, I did have one set up on my old ID. You need to set it up with this one. So this is number 14, and what we've done here is just a hack in security and session. So our Discord listener is now that. Turn the Discord session for later use. So checking the comment there to make sure I hadn't become obsolete. This. And the send endpoint. temporarily add that because, like I say, we'll be pulling it out and putting it in the secure and having a login type thing. And then this one, store the Discord session on startup. How very exciting. Right. I think that can go up. I need, no, that. Yes, that. Thank you. Just going to pop this up, and I'm just going to, whoops, this one. Hello. Oh, it's okay. I did have it on the, I did have it on the correct one. Let's go back to OBS. Where's OBS gone? There it is. Back to the laptop. Yay. Let's minimize OBS so that the fan whirring disappears. I'm so looking forward to my new laptop. And then oh, this will be fine. I'm just going to quickly go into the auth. Nope. Headers. You can't see what I'm doing here, but at the moment I'm setting up pour so that the authorization header has some kind of a value that I need to set. And I also need to set that in the config file. Config, and that needs to go in under what did I call it? Bearer. And in goes that. Sorry, the clicking you can hear is because I'm using Vim and I'm not hitting escape in the right places and what have you, and it's just my machine going blink. So if I now go to that, I think we're okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter if this leaks out to the rest of the world, because, well, just because. You can ignore that key. It's a test key from an application that isn't on the internet and was written as part of a training course in order to demonstrate some stuff. So yeah, do what you like with that key. It's a randomly generated thing that does nothing anymore. Right, so I need to go to S3. I need to upload my new config file. Let's see whether this is... Let's actually create that pull request. We need to go here. We need to go to S3. We need to... So many rotating things. That one. And upload. Add files. Config. Upload that. So that now should be set with the correct authorization header. So that should be good. This, we can approve that, I think. Yeah, that'll do. today is brought to you by massive hacks to get things out and working. Much as I love to do things properly, sometimes there are time constraints, and I know Alex wants to actually get to use this and for it to be doing something sensible. So rather than creating nothing perfectly, let's create something that works a little imperfectly, and then have that as a record on the internet for the rest of time. We can fix all this up later. Nothing that can't be fixed. When we move things around in order to make it so I can start it up and test it on the command line, then we can fiddle around with how we pass in sessions and stuff. We may need a different type to pass around so that it has the config and some various other things that are needed. Maybe the store will go in there, I don't know. We'll work it out. But for now, that's going up and out. Well, up for the moment. We need to tag it so it goes out. It'll restart and pick up the correct config. So the last thing to do is to construct a message. So let me just clear that, bring that down here, and go there. I don't know why you've decided that you're going to be on top all the time now. In fact, I might just get rid of you for now. Right, so we have some example. Alex gave us an example. Here is our example. We need to change the... am I going to upset anyone with the mentions or roles? Because you wrote those. I don't know whether I'm about to ping everyone on the server or whether it'll be fine. On here, there's the string I want. Fantastic. So let's... what's going on? Oh, we're at the bottom. Looking in the wrong place of the cursor. Goodbye. In you go. So I should... Actually, don't even need to write that. I can just copy and paste that into Paul. In fact, I should have just done that in the first place. Where is Paul? Where did I put Paul? You're over here. So you're going to be that. And we are going to HTTPS ashjoe it's in the company domain because that's where the load balance is being paid for. Send. Oh, rude word. This is not part. Oops. This is not part of the HTTP spec. Hopefully, the load balancer will pick it up, but I forgot to put it under post. And just to sort of speed things up, because I think I've already approved that. We can fix that up in a follow-up. That's just in the router. Routes. So get is one of those things where technically it's not supposed to take a body. Some things allow it to take a body. We'll see. But let's fix this up on the way, just in case. Have you built? You've already built. Oh, let's do it properly. Let's set this up now. Up you go. You can go. You can go. You can go. You need to stay. Just getting rid of the superfluous tabs. Yep. Now build. Build faster. Build as fast as you can. So we'll just make sure that we've got you can go. Yes. Is there a rename? Just double click on it. So that's our send. And that's a get on there, just to make sure that we're here. There we go, forward 18. I'm a debot. So we know our connection's working. Talking of Easter eggs, I seem to remember Alex mentioned one on the Norfolk developers website that no one's spotted. You could make him happy and be the first person to spot it. I mean, I suppose I could have been. I suppose I could have done that in Norfolk.dev. While we're waiting for this to build. Is there anything? Let's have a look at the source actually. It's probably a better way of doing it. Show page source. Not seeing anything. Lovely use of emoji in the. Oh, I actually want this. Think. Interestingly, with researching how to send the complex messages out, I was looking at one thing that played a game, and because Go is written in Unicode, you can actually compare whether your message contains the emoji that you're looking for. So you've got this code that's just full of emojis, which is quite good fun. Right, leave that going. I see no Easter egg, Alex. I'm really sorry. I'm not looking that particularly hard, but I'll leave that for others to. And this is, he turns around and says it's not there. It doesn't exist. It never existed. Come on. A watch status never updates, which is why I keep pinging the tracking thing from my my new laptop regularly. Not that it's actually going to update to anything meaningful for at least a few days. Anyway, we'll try and remember that it's going to go out as 1.8. Go here. And then hopefully soon. So one of the things we may need to put in, I forgot to write a bug for this, is rate limiting on commands, which we can put just a generic wrapper around the handler. The endpoint rate limiting is built in with the HTTP package, but in terms of just the actual actions that the bot will respond to. One of Alex's comments last week was that although I wasn't responding to the bot, he's got a shiny new keyboard and could he program a macro on the keyboard to spam that command. And I don't know whether or not he can with his, quite possibly. I certainly know I can with mine, which means that it would be very easy to do on others as well. So we probably want something that stops people from abusing things. It does amuse me that he has now found 2 bugs, 3 bugs, just messing around with it. This is users for you. Right, that's going out, and then we'll soon start up. So we are looking for the bot to become version 0.18. And then when it is version 0.18, we can hopefully ping that endpoint. Now I'm hoping that the changeover will be fast enough such that the load balancer won't notice anything, so I won't have to re-register things. And it'll just be running 2 endpoints for a little while. So we shouldn't have to wait for too long for that to go out. But we don't need you anymore. And you, I think we can go back to ECS. There we go. So that should update to 22, I believe. Let's just see where we're at with the pipelines. Absolutely positive I want to delete that. I wonder if you can just unpause that. It will fail. It's going to annoy me being paused like that. Meanwhile, this should be nearly done. And then we just need all the jiggery pokery that goes on with the ECS stuff. Looking at spinning things. Right, what else have we got in here while we're waiting for that to go up? I haven't really got time to how easy is it to set the bot icon? Where did I see setting of bot icons? Was it in the examples avatar? Yes. Change the user avatar. Right, so we need to base 64 encode the avatar. Ugh. What format's it in? Right, the take ping was great because I believe the avatar is a ping. That's successful, that's gone out, good. You should be... Oops. There we go, so there's 2 of them up at the moment. One of them will go down shortly. I won't hit that until one of them's disappeared. because I actually have no idea which one it's going to be sent to. Probably need a version endpoint at some point on this, just so we know what version it is. But it's doing, I think it's set up to round robin. So if we manage to hit the correct endpoint, actually, we'll probably just keep spamming it and see whether we get a response. There we go, that's draining. So that shouldn't be accepting any new connections. So if I go over here and I post this, well, that's annoying. Although working better than I thought it would. Right, so that's going in a method post, and it's calling the endpoint send. If that is not equal to settings.bearer, we set that with the config key of bearer. You can get that up there. JSON. Oh, right. Classic mistake. There was an I, a spare I in a key name. Because I will insist on using antiquated editors. Right, so we add files, add the config, choose for upload, upload that. That's up there, and then I can just turn around and tell ECS to just do another release, or just redo it. So go here on this, select that, create new revision, and then I can am I on to the right place? Ah, this one. Force new deployment. So all that's going to do is update with the same, or deploy with the same stuff that we had before. It's just going out as a new deployment. So we've got a brand new task on there. So they're both up and running. One of them will deregister and should pick up the new config file. Should pick up the new config file. Let's just make sure that they are have I spelled things correctly? I believe so. Why are you not working? So this is still coming back with unauthorized, despite the fact that going the wrong place there. Despite the fact that we should just have the correct target on there. we've still got 2 things running, so maybe we are hitting the last, because I don't know whether it's doing sticky sessions. So one of those will go down at some point, and then we'll try again. And there we go. I was going to say, unless I've somehow managed to tell it to run 2 at the same time, so that's down. Last try. Interestingly enough, Poor is spaffing out the authorization token. That'll get changed. It's a config thing, and it's also not working at the moment. Oh, that's interesting. Well, seeing as that's coming out on there, why have you got... Oh, right, okay. That's on there. And it looks to be the space afterwards. Is that okay? That is going out on that. Have I spelled that correctly in the code? That was bearer. That I have spelled correctly. Let's just check the bot is actually done. The bot is definitely up, because otherwise it wouldn't be giving a an error. Let's just make sure that that is spelled correct. That's definitely returning that. I have the confused. Let's just make sure that they're the same things. They are the same things. We add that. It's got a config key. I've spelled the config key correctly. No, I haven't. Yes, I have. Well, I've used the same string. I'm now beginning to question everything. So that's definitely the config key. That's option. Done that. It's done after we've parsed everything. Right. For some reason, it was the load balancer kicking us off to a thing. Right, let's see what's happened here. Kitty. Cool. It worked. So I now all of you are now charging to hit that endpoint, but some little changes now that I have sent my bearer token all over the internet. Let's change that token to be something else. Let's go to S3. Let's upload the new config. Let's see how fast you people are with your curls. Let's add some files on there. Choose for upload. Upload. That's gone up into ECS. On here. Oops. Why do I have 2 there? I want 1. Why have I got 2? Where's the second one come from? Maybe I had told it to run 2. I wonder if I send that again, whether I get the error. But anyway, stop. Bot's now dead. We can confirm this by checking. Yep, bot's dead. And then ECS notices that everything's down and I wanted 1 running, so it's coming back up again. And that'll be starting with, there we are, back up and running. Right, that's because it's waiting for the existing, or the new endpoint to come up, because it requires 2 health checks, so it's going to take a minute, and there are no other endpoints there. So basically it's looking at its pool of endpoints and going, nothing's here. There we are, back to unauthorized, and the internet was too slow. Sorry, the internet. Anyway, that is the bot now proxying messages for Alex, and me flailing around rather randomly for most of the 2 hours in order to make that work. So I'll be here next week, where we can expect some more flailing with me trying to tidy up the mess that I've made. We might even put a login type endpoint in there. We'll see. We're building up some technical debt here, and that needs to be sorted. Anyway, all that remains to be said is go do the internety things of smashing like buttons and all of that rubbish. Let's get that back up and hello. Yeah, so smash like buttons and all of that rubbish. Follow us on the Twitters, join the Discord, go join the Patreon, and get special perks. And come back here next week for more ramblings. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will